Hello, Paul. Robert. I just sent out new PDFs. That's what that's for tomorrow. We're going to do some reading. Plus the stick control formula book. And then Thursday is Paul's day. We're going to work strictly with jazz. How's that sound, Paul? Ding-a-dong-dong. How did you guys do with the double bass drums today? They ain't bad. I guess you could have a whole lot of fun with them. What have you been working on with double bass drums there, Robert? Yeah, can you walk, Paul? Does the left foot hurt? I was giving this guy a lesson. He was into double bass drums. And I gave him some exercises. And I said, don't overdo it. He comes in for his next lesson. He's dragging his left foot. I said, what's up with you? He overdid it. If you feel any discomfort or you're experiencing any sort of pain, stop. Who's that? Winard Harper. I don't know who that is. Who is that, Paul? Triplets. Okay. Let's hang out with the double beaters. Are you doing them harmonically or are you doing them just with the bass drum? Are you working with the cymbal? The snare. Is that what you're doing, Robert? And stick control, huh? I never heard of them. Just the bass drum. When you're doing it with the bass drum, challenge it. And it makes it not harder, but more focused. If you're doing triplets alone, 1, 2, 3, 4, play the bass drum, ride cymbal. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, or the jazz pattern. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or the shuffle. 4, 1. And drop the left hand on 2 and 4. That's a good exercise, Robert. Is that what you're doing? Then you're doing stick control just with the bass drum or harmonically, like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3. Vamp. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Is that what you're doing, Robert? Hello, Stacy. Yeah, well, it's not easy. Robert. You need, it's just like when you first started stick control, hands and feet at the same time. A lot of noise with 2 bass drums. I don't consider it noise. Jimmy, you're flagged for the day. Out. How you doing, Jim? Hello, Stacy. Where were you this afternoon? Oh, by the way, how are you making out with Jeffrey Johnson? Now, did everybody get the sheets for the reading for tomorrow? That's what I need to know. Because we're going to do that reading, but we're not going to make it a drag. We're going to have a little fun with it. But in the same interim, you're going to learn how to read. Marcio, how you do? Bon dia. Where's Dennis? Seth? And the new gentleman? All right, let's hang out. Did you happen to listen to the video or watch the video from this afternoon, Stacy? Yes, no? Mr. Green, how you doing? Well, you could know how to read, but there are some guys who do not know how to read. That's what this is all about. You didn't see the invite. What do you mean? Hello, Dennis. Well, the PDFs are for tomorrow. All right. What invite did you need? When I go online, do you get the notifications? I'm online at 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. And I did say this afternoon, come July and August, I'm going to cut it down to 2 days a week, and we'll go back to 4 days a week in September. That's okay with everyone, correct? Let's zone in. Stacy, what exactly do you do with your double bass drums? Did you understand what we were doing? All right, well, you know, you're not restricted to just to do page 5, 6, and 7. There's a couple different options here. You know, if you want to do 5, 6, and 7, if you don't have double bass drums, use the hi-hat. I'm going to take it off snare so you can hear it better. Okay? 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Is that the kind of stuff that you work on, Stacy? My right foot? What's wrong with my left foot? All right, well, what you can do, other than page 5, 6, and 7, take the eighth notes in the triplets. This would be good for you because if you're working on triplets, Robert. Get 1, 2, 3, 4, harmonically. For the dudes that don't have the double beaters, also the table of time. That's going to help you out a lot. And do it with a metronome. First do it without the metronome, get familiar with it. Absolutely. Rudimental solos, soloing, etc. That's not a problem, Mr. Green. You're part of the organization, man. Share what you have. All right, well, Jeff is going to give you the right direction. Is he working with you on full strokes, half strokes, quarter strokes? Stacy? And Mr. Green, I mean, I won't be able, first off, if you're doing something, you could actually post them on here if they're not into any kind of copyright thing. Because if you're into copyright, they will not, they'll find me. That's good. How'd you make out with that, Robert? The table of time. Now, I mean, rudimental solos, I mean, you know, I worked at it in Nard book, Charlie Wilcoxon books. I was in the drum and bugle corps, but field drumming and this kind of drumming are like two different animals, okay? But the table of time is what you want to work on, okay? Now, Paul, you having any problems with the table time? You worked on your left foot, you said. Okay, syncopation. You swinging it, or you filling in the triplets? How you working with the syncopation, Stacy? Jeffrey's going to take you on a great journey. Absolutely going slow. That's what you got to do. I mean, you could, you know, I could get crazy with this and use the triplet fill-ins. You know, in the stick control book formulas, where you have the PDFs, I have things like this. You know, accenting the right hand, accenting development. You can do the same thing with the bass drum. See it? You can have fun with that. Anything you do on the top, you should be able to start doing on the bottom. Like, let's start with a 5-stroke rough. We'll do it in 16ths and quarters. Five-stroke roll. You're doing whatever you're doing with your hands, your feet are going to respond. There's an answer call. Here's call, answer. Now, it's a lot of fun doing linear stuff. You can have a blast with it. I haven't really designed a lesson with the double beaters. Like I said, you know, this is actually the first time I had them up in a long time. Well, you're doing it straight up and down then, Stacy. That's okay. Yeah, you got to work on it slow. If you're going to do the table of time, when you first approach the table of time on the one surface, it was 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's what you should do with the bass drums now, or the hi-hat, bass drum and hi-hat. Let me take this off. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 E and the 2 E and the 4 E and the 1. one's tough. Whew. But you got the idea, right? Well, yeah, you could use Joe. Joe Smith. What do you change your name? I thought it was Joe Seals. No, you could use your legs. Now you could definitely, I'm using my legs too. I'm using, what I do, it depends on the tempo. I like to use just my heel, my feet flat when I could make the tempo. If I have to up the tempo somewhat, my heels come up and I'm playing with my toes with my legs. That's just common sense. Absolutely not. When you say a lot harder, what, doing it against the quarter note there, Robert? You know, there's so much you can do. It opens up a lot more doors because there's a lot more limbs going on. You know, I play, like I said, bass drum, hi-hat, snare, floor tom-tom, small tom-tom. You're going to use the hi-hat, man, that's going to be a hell of a workout. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice and easy. 1, 2, 3, 4. You could even orchestrate it because you're going to start to feel loose in it and start to develop a lot of other things. Because this